Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today, guys, we're going to be jumping down into the world of Bitcoin, taking a look at what's been going on most recently, what we expect to happen next, and all that wonderful stuff here at the Cheeky Crypto YouTube channel. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, tap the bell, and you'll stay up to date with all the video updates. If you find this video useful and informative, smash the like button. Above and beyond all those things, join us down in the Discord server. It is completely free, and it's a centralized hub of everything that we do. It's the first place we go to notify you of the ins and the outs of what is going on in the crypto space. So check it out, links in the description below. In this video, we're going to be diving down into not only the charts, we'll be taking a look at some of the on-chain metrics as well, taking a look at what's been going on there, as well as some of these bigger macro pieces as well. Okay, let's make a start. Here we have Bitcoin paired up with USDT on the 1 hour chart, and Binance is our data source. Now, for the most part, you can kind of see I'm expecting a bit of a move to the downside here. If I just bring this up, you can see that we're overbought on this 1 hour chart as well. Let me just zoom in so you can kind of see we are still ranging from yesterday between these two white lines, and I'm expecting us to come down towards the $16,233 and then potentially push up a little bit higher. I do think the $17,633 target that I have scoped out here is a little bit on the high side. I don't think we're going to necessarily get there. I think there was even another target about 17,750 approximately. So there's some kind of targets up here, some kind of range to be had. However, I don't think we're going to push all that way. There's a lot of resistance and potentially a double top at 17,190. You can kind of see it right there as well. So, and depending on how high that we move with this structure, it does change potentially some of the outputs on where it goes later, and we'll talk more about that in a few moments. On the 4 hour chart, you can see we've got some progression to the upside, so we've got plenty of room here, but we can also just pull on down, finishing up, B-wave off, and then move on up without any issues. As we kind of come up into the 8 hour, you can see that we've got to come down from this overbought area, so again, lining up with some of my thoughts there. 12 hour, we're overbought. The 16 hour, we're overbought. The 20 hour, we are overbought, and the daily, we are overbought. So essentially, whenever we do finish this higher move, whether we do manage to push up to $17,000, maybe $17,500, we are going to be primed for a bigger move to the downside. So that's something we cannot ignore. And, on that note, we are, obviously, this is a Sunday. Sundays are usually pretty typically slow, but they normally actually break to the upside. So it'd be interesting to see whether or not this ranging market does get that break to the upside, and the B wave was actually complete down here at 16,342 rather than the 16,233. It will be interesting to kind of see how that goes. And if we do start breaking to the upside, then that's going to basically mean that we are heading on up into the C wave, and we'll be interesting to see where that lands. Now, on the bigger piece in terms of the monthly chart, as per the thumbnail here, the next support level does appear to be 13,880 USD. Okay, this is not USDT, this is a USD. This is a Bitstamp chart, by the way, guys, on the monthly. You can see that this was the previous area of demand just over here, and basically lots of buy orders were scooping up some discounted BTC. However, we've gone all the way through it. We've chewed through those orders, and we're coming down lower. Okay, so 13,880 is the scope here for that next key support level. If we lose that, then we're talking 9.5K. Okay. Now, and I did see some comments on the YouTube video from yesterday, people thinking that I'm talking about $5,000 Bitcoin. I don't think there's a chart that's indicating that just yet. Not without any kind of, I guess, trend lines and just copying structures and fractals from one area to another and so forth. A lot of that stuff. But essentially, if you actually look at it from an Elliott wave theory point of view, there's no structure to those numbers. So yeah, hopefully that debunks that ridiculous comment that I saw earlier. Nonetheless, structure-wise, we can see there's some clear areas of support on the chart. 13,880 is the area that we're looking at next. And then if we do lose that, obviously it's 9.5K. Now, the 9.5K is actually resonates incredibly well with a lot of historical data for Bitcoin. But we are rewriting the data, and there's no guarantee that even that is the actual low point. So structure is going to be absolutely everything. Understanding the market structure, but beyond that, also understanding and what is going on from the on-chain metrics. So here we have the inflows and the outflows, and obviously we still have the, basically huge amounts of Bitcoin being pulled off the exchanges. If I actually come up to the Bitcoin data chart here, we can see that 11.17 million has gone onto the exchanges in 2022, and 11.64 million has come off. You can still see there's a sizable amounts coming off here, the net difference between the inflows and the outflows, and you can see on the line graph here, Bitcoin's balance on exchanges coming down. Okay, so with the inflows and the outflows, yeah, we've seen that pretty much here. Now this would normally be a positive. We'd be looking at that data and think, fantastic, this is a real positive that Bitcoin's being accumulated. But the circumstances behind it, however, are the fact that people are worried about leaving crypto on exchanges, and rightfully so, which is why we often talk about the Ledger hardware wallets. There's a link in the description down below, guys. If you haven't already kind of got yourself a hardware wallet, we like the Ledger on this channel. We are affiliated with them. We do get a kickback if you do go ahead and use that link to purchase one. And it really does help the channel kind of grow. Right? Now, with that being said, there are many other brands of hardware wallet. You don't have to go and buy a Ledger. You can go look at Trezor. You could look at many different types, right? I just find that the Ledger's easiest to use. Good for bang for your buck as well. So I'd say easiest to use. It's for the kind of the ranging market. So if you want to spend $100 to $150 on a hardware wallet, that gives you a lot of features, lots of protection. That's kind of where I put the Ledger device. So as I said, there's other options anyway. And so what you see is a lot of outflows coming from the exchanges, and they're basically going into self-custody. Now that self-custody could be on a Ledger hardware wallet, but it could also be on a warm wallet, right? We often think of a Ledger as cold storage, for your cryptocurrency assets. And essentially there are warm wallets being things like Trust Wallet, MetaMask, and things like that. They're still connected to the internet. Whereas a Ledger, when it's disconnected from the computer, it's not connected to the internet, right? So what we would bear in mind is that when you have something like a Trust Wallet or a MetaMask wallet, there's still potential risks there. There's also risk with cold storage as well. We can't ignore that either. So I think there's a mixture of things going on here. We have obviously seen huge influx of people flocking to hardware wallets to get kind of the cold storage elements. But I imagine that there's also been a huge increase with the downloads for things like Trust Wallet and MetaMask and so forth as well. Just choose an option that works for you guys. Essentially, in the last 24 hours, the inflows have actually outpaced the outflows. So people are still offloading BTC by the looks of it. 18,000 going on to exchanges and 17,000 coming off. So again, still bearish in kind of that kind of regard. And we'll see more people kind of probably pulling off the exchanges as more develops within the recent kind of saga. And we haven't really seen the fallout of absolutely everything going on with FTX just yet. Now, as we take a look at wallets here, you can see significant surges with self-custody. So pretty much, plodding along pretty normally here, retailers, and then they go from 910,000 wallets all the way up here to 952,000 wallets holding at least one BTC. There was some kind of really laughable thing that was put out in the Discord yesterday I saw, which was that Glassnode has kind of said whale wallets have increased. The number of people owning one Bitcoin has shot up dramatically into an all-time high. Yeah, but let's be real, right? A one Bitcoin doesn't make you a whale. I do find that quite humorous, but nonetheless, yeah, one Bitcoiners, these retailers, these people who have aspired to get one BTC, they've actually shot up. So they're definitely withdrawing, or currently still withdrawing BTC from the exchanges. And as I said on the Twitch stream the other day, first come, first serve. So the faster you do get your crypto off the exchanges, potentially the better you'll be if that particular exchange does go under. And join us in Discord if you're looking for more information on all of that kind of stuff. Links in the description below. You can see here with the dolphins, they also spiked up and have cooled off a little bit. And as we come up into the larger size wallet, the 100 Bitcoin, the 1,000 Bitcoin or more, or the 10,000 Bitcoin or more, you get a pretty clear picture here that they aren't backing things just yet. A little bit of a fluctuation with the sharks here. They've actually started to increase. So I'll assume that they have been coming off the exchanges a little bit. And we can see up here as well, basically whales doing what whales do best and just basically take advantage of the liquidity out in the market. They fluctuate up and drop back down. And even the Kraken size wallet is pretty static here now at 117 16 wallets. Again, I just think they're moving the market, and we're not seeing what we need to see for progression within the space. So for clarity, guys, this is what we saw in 2018. We saw the retailers, the one Bitcoiners, getting shaken out of the space before the actual low came in. That actually happened during this flat period here. During their entire journey of the bear market in 2018, they thought this was the bottom. They were told this was the bottom, they were told this was the bottom, and eventually they got shaken out of the space, right? There's only so many times you can be told that the bottom is in and yeah, we're going to the moon by some of these crazy influencers across these social media platforms. Eventually they get shaken out of the space and they lose a lot of money. They buy up here, for example, and basically they sell over here. Now, there's always a buyer and there's always a seller. So if these shrimps, these one Bitcoin retailers are selling, where is it being purchased? Well, it's being purchased by these whales, okay? So the whales are waiting for the retailers to sell cheap Bitcoin to them, and they were basically dumping on the way up here. So they accumulate during this time. And the Kraken size wallet basically accumulates during the bear market, then dumps it right on the market right towards the end of the bear market, bringing in the lows. Now, I want to just be really clear on this. This is not they're selling Bitcoin here. They're just flooding the system with excess amounts of BTC to drag the price down. That's a difference, okay? So just having Bitcoin flooding a system, flooding a marketplace, basically makes people want to sell cheaper because there's so much more Bitcoin up for sale, right? It's supply and demand basics. So get your head around the supply and demand side of things because it's incredibly important when it comes to price movements. So that's kind of what we're waiting for. We are waiting for our Bitcoiners, our one Bitcoiners, our retailers to kind of sell, so that our whales can buy. At the moment, they're just coming out of their positions. The Kraken, however, has been accumulating as it did in 2018. So in relation to our charts, what am I expecting? I'm expecting more downside. Do I know exactly how low it's going to go? No, I don't. But do I have some good ideas? Yeah, I think 13,880 seems like the next logical stop. We might bounce around a little bit. We might take some time to get there, but I do think that's the next stop. And if we do lose that, then I am looking at 9,500 as the most logical next support area. But of course, we'll be monitoring those subwave counts and getting a good understanding as to kind of where Bitcoin is going on the smaller time frame so that we can be prepared for end of structures and potentially accumulate at the right points in time. I'm going to leave this video right there, though. If you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.